It's my life, it's your life, it's our life, it's our life, it's our life. You got to make a decision.
And if you're tuning in for the first time, it's the Holla-tics Live Interactive Podcast. I'm Raz, your host. So on the floor is Lapo Logic. And we weighing in on, do women look for relationships to A, find companionship, B, security, or social status? Now, the reason I had to have Lapo on the show for this, because not only did he take my dream and completing law school, I seen this Negro just wilding out with I don't know how many women. And I was like, man, Lapo in law school. And then all of a sudden, every time I looked up, Lapo had another woman. And I was like, man, this dude is my spirit animal, man. Look at that. I'm kidding, baby. I'm kidding. But what Lapo, if y'all go follow Lapo on any his social sites, he's a Holla-tic in another frame of mind. It ain't about politics with Lapo. He's not afraid to express any feeling, social signs, anything that he has obtained from dating so many women, man. I was like, right. I almost unfriended and unfollowed you. I'm like, I can't with this dude. I can't. But anyway, man, Lapo, I want you to weigh in on a nice floor subject, man. On the floor tonight, do you believe women look for relationships for A, companionship, B, security, or C, social status?
Right. I think it's all three. And so I'm gonna cheat here, right? I think it's all three.
Yeah.
I think it's all three and none. And let me explain what I mean. I think that women primary, and this is the way that I look at all relationships, and it's from an evolutionary standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Outside of once we got our shelter and everything taken care of, food, the number one thing humans want to do is to feel loved, embraced by our community, and we want to have babies, right?
Yeah.
So women will choose men based on women want to get in relationships because they want to have babies. They choose men based on the things that you talked about earlier, right? So companionship, social status, security, right? And there's two guiding principles, and I call it value. One of them is value, and the other is security, right?
Yeah.
Now, those two things are opposing. The more value you have, the more security you don't have. The more security you have, a lot of times, the less value that you have. Now, let me give you an example. Like, a lot of the women that I've dated in the past, they feel very insecure when it comes to talking to me, right? They say I'm intimidating to them. 1, because I'm handsome. 2, because I'm educated. 3, I ain't gonna talk about sex on this show, but
Hey, you open. Of course, we got people from all but this is an older people show at the same time.
Right,
so I don't want to feel like I want these people to get a taste of who you are, so they don't just think I'm just hyping you up, man. This dude is I don't know, man. I found a twin in life when it comes down to social signs. I drive people crazy with this stuff, Lapo.
Right.
People be like, man, dang, Raz, you too deep, and I'm like, I don't feel that way, man. I'm rarely having surface conversations, man.
Right.
If we talk about T.I. versus Busta Rhymes, I'm gonna probably talk about that for about 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna be in it. Well, the reason Busta really want to challenge him, I'm gonna go there with him. So,
I love it. It's behind. So, this is a real quick story, and I get back to it, and I agree with what you're saying. I look at the motive behind the behavior. Right.
Yeah.
So I think, why is this person acting this way? Right. He wants attention. She wants attention. You know what I mean? So it's like, you have a little sister. My little sister used to like stand in front of the TV when I was watching Ninja Turtles. It would irritate me. But I was like, I asked her when we got grown, why are you doing this? She was like, because I just want to play with you. Right. She just wanted attention. So she would aggravate me and do things to irritate me. My point is this.
Right.
My point is this: when I look at women in dating, I look at the behavior the choices that they make and what's behind it, right?
Right.
So when it comes to babies, right? You're a woman wants a baby that's going to be strong, that's going to be able to fend for herself,
Yeah.
that's going to be attractive, that's going to have the best chances of survival.
Right.
So
That is our logic. That is our logic.
right. So it's like when women choose men based on their physical appearance, a lot of times because that those babies that they can have, it gives them the best chance of surviving and thriving and living to be an older age, right?
Yeah.
So that's the value aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
The
Right.
security and the social status, those things are kind of intertwined. So the security is saying that, hey, this man, he's not gonna leave me when I'm pregnant. He's not gonna leave me when a child is born.
Oh
So
boy,
that
but wait. I gotta dig in. I'm gonna
okay,
get Gabe comment, then we gotta stop right there.
okay,
I'm not gonna let you blow past that point.
okay, that's
Because
fine.
I
Yeah.
gotta stop you right there.
Okay.
Holla-tics Gabe say, I believe women look for all three. Companionship is a biggie for a lot of women. I feel wanted and to feel wanted and security, feel safe. They can trust him as well. And it's how to take Gabe Robinson. I believe that. Now,
Right.
here's where I'm gonna hit Gabe and then I'm gonna hit you, Lapo.
Okay.
Sometimes when women, and me and you had this conversation in the past, Lapo.
Right.
I'm gonna hit Mike real quick. Mike, Holla-tics Mike Robinson say, I believe women look for companionship and security, and they're looking for a man that can be their best friend and lovers, and someone who can provide and be by their side through hard times. This is true. This is true. But
Okay,
listen. I'm gonna hit Gabe and Mike. Then I gotta hit you. Let me say something, Gabe and Mike. And the reason this was a big deal for me to put on the floor tonight, if by the way, if you listen to the Holla-tics Live Interactive podcast, it's because when older women get older, they start dropping some of their standards, bro.
Right.
And it's no longer about where women be like, okay, I got my own money. I don't need him to make me secure. I just don't want to die lonely. And some women be like, I know he run around with 10 men, but I gotta look a certain way in social status. So Gabe and Mike, that's storybook. And that's what I got in my wife. I believe Gabe and Mike, but I've noticed that a lot of women that has passed a certain age, certain of those, they'll compromise a couple of those
why?
standards.
You know why they compromise, right? Because a lot of times with men, we're primarily visual.
Yeah.
Right. So like, and I tell my homegirls this in law school all the time. I said, you can't remove other women, right?
Yeah.
You're 33. You cannot compete with the 23-year-old version of yourself. If you go into a club and you're 10 years ago, you walked in the club, every dude is going to talk to the 23-year-old version of yourself. It don't matter what degrees you have. It don't matter. It don't matter. Like, we're primarily visual. And I think that's why it's really important that women secure a guy when they're young, because if you get a guy's heart when he's young, as he gets older, like he may cheat on you, he may do all this other stuff, but you will have his heart, right? And once you capture his heart, then you can have him for a lifetime. So
Holla-tics just checked in the building. Hey, listen, you know what though? I give women the cheat sheet. I wrote a book, Lapo. I don't know if you read it. I wrote a book. Me and my friend, Holla-tics Larry Davis. Matter of fact, he checked in tonight. He might be gone. He run a nightclub. He a street guy. So we wrote a book. Every man need 3 women. And I won't get into the psyche of it. But listen, the book was giving women a cheat sheet on how to get to the heart of a man. And so women, if you listen, if you can wear a man out. And I know it ain't easy. If dude running around and he doing stuff and he lying and he cheating on your back, if you just stay there, you will wear a man out. And he'll eventually turn around and say, I gotta love this girl. I gotta love this girl.
Hey, listen, man, like it's real easy. Like I'm a dude, and I still to this day, I be getting around. Last night met this new girl. But anyway.
Hey, bro, we gonna do this every Friday, man. We gonna call it Holla-tics date night, man. I might keep you out of trouble at least for a few hours.
It might help. So, but it's this girl that I'm seeing right now, and it's been a couple of girls in my past, and it was like they made it so easy and so convenient for me that it was almost hard for me to like. I mean, I still did what I did, but it really made me reconsider, should I be with this girl? And it's not hard, you know, it's just like, be beautiful or decent looking, don't trip, you know, and cook me some food. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not rocket science.
But you know what though? You know what, Lapo? It's you. That's easy to find. It's just that you get some other stuff, and I ain't got to preach to the choir because Lapo was married and it didn't work out, man.
Right.
So, but man, you know, I tell people all the time, man, companionship is a fingerprint. You know, it's not a blueprint, man. It's not one way to get it done, man. We each have different fingerprints, man. Nobody's is quite the same. You know,
right?
Some stuff certain guys put up with, other guys won't. Certain stuff certain women put up with, other women won't, man. So
well,
you know,
and I'm gonna say something to that, right? I think that our culture has we take the judo Christian, now I wouldn't say judo Christian view of it, but we take a New Testament view of it instead of like a biblical view on the way that in the nature of relationships, right? My father is a Nigerian guy, you know what I mean? He had to, you know, he illegally married my mom and this other lady, right? My grandfather in Nigeria, he had multiple wives. My grandfather in America, he had my grandma and a family across town, you know. David had, you know how he was getting down, you know what I mean? Solomon, he had virgins beyond number. That's what the Bible says. So he was pulling girls off the bench, right? And so 2 Chainz, she said he got one wife, a mistress, and a girlfriend. You know what I mean? So it's like when you look at the history of mankind, every man who did have multiple women, who could have multiple women, had multiple women, bro.
I can't. I run into this conversation a lot, and we talking from a biblical standpoint, of course. And Lapo is no immature Christian. He's been in Christianity a while. I don't know if you still believe, Lapo. You was wild and so wild for a minute. We'll get into that later though, man. But I have never found a solid staple to put into that conversation, because people say, well, that God permitted them to be that way. And I'm like, God don't change though, but we'll turn around and say he's the same here and ever after. So if he's the same, then how, you know, and then you say it's in certain countries where it's permitted. You know, the Bible say he that, you know, want to be the deacon of a church or the minister or a teacher, you know, you have one wife and you do certain things. But what if this man is not a minister and he lives in a country where it is permitted to have multiple wives? Is he sinning against God? You know, it's so many, you know. And God say God gets a kick out of hiding nuggets and having us to dig for them and find them, man. And so I never really got a solid staple in that one, man. I got one wife, of course. I can't handle more than one, you know.
Right.
I tell my wife all the time, if something happened to her, I'm just gonna have to repent every now and then, because I ain't gonna be able to do it again, bro.
Right. Bro, and I think that we talk about companionship and we talk about social status and security, but when you look at the way what women do, what women say they do, and what women actually do, those are two different things, right? So there's a lot of women who share men. There's a lot of women. Let me repeat that. Like, listen to me.
I get you.
There's a lot.
It's sort of like what I was telling Gabe and Mike. Well, we were just discussing. It wasn't like I was telling them. They was just sharing their situation. I mean, their opinion as well as me sharing mine. But I'm like, some women, when you get older, you start sacrificing certain standards you had at one point in time you had to have a whole guy. But now, if a guy show up every now and then, and he take care of you, you like, I'm cool with this. I don't have to have a whole guy. I can have 3/4 of one. It happens.
It-
As ugly as they may sound, it happens all the time.
what I've seen in my dating experience is kind of like women. A lot of times they have a compilation of men to build one man, right? So it's like the guy that offers dope D, you know what I mean? Great sex, right? So
Yeah.
a girl kick it with him, and then it's like another guy. She don't really have to have sex with him, but he's in the friend zone, right? So she goes
Hollatics, they
shop.
always say we don't live in the Old Testament.
We don't, let me address that.
Hollatics, they just be weighing in. Go ahead,
No,
man.
it's fine.
No.
I'm gonna address that, and I'm gonna get back.
I
We
knew
don't-
Yo was
we-
gonna pop out, man.
We
You gotta
don't
go
we
follow
don't
Yo
live in
on
the Old
Facebook,
Testament.
bro.
We don't live in the Old Testament. However, men are the same. Men are the
Yeah.
same.
We don't change. You're right.
You know what I mean? So we don't
Yeah.
live in the Old Testament. But
Nah.
like I said, 2 Chainz said one wife, a mistress, and a girlfriend. And if you look at David, he had several wives, a mistress, and a girlfriend.
Well, really,
You know-
really, it was that was pretty much the concept of the book without me without trying to promote it. I was trying to stay away from it, but of course, I've been married 23 years. You know that, Lapo.
Right.
And I wrote the book though. Every man needs 3 women, and really, it was a concept. The concept was that every man needs, the caretaker. If you're not married, then she's not your wife, but not to say you don't need that one. You need somebody
Right.
to take care of you when you get sick. Oh, Lapo, you're not looking right. You're a little pale right now. Get over here. Them clothes dirty. You need that caretaker.
Right.
And then you need that friend. Now, the
Right.
friend is kind of tricky because the friend becomes the closest one. You feel comfortable around her. You can say
Right.
anything. You can do
Right.
anything. It's not even necessarily a sexual relationship with the friend, but it could go there.
Right.
And then number 3, every man needs the freak. He needs the one that's gonna give him what he needs in the sack. Now,
Right.
lucky dudes get all that in one woman. Look, whatever. We call that the golden ticket. But the concept of the book is that if a man is missing one of those numbers, he could be strong for a while, but eventually he goes out and hunt for it.
I would agree. I think that the point that I would disagree with you is that, like, and this is science, is something that's called the Coolidge effect, right?
Yeah.
And essentially this is the issue with men all over. We have a natural desire to have sex with multiple women. So like we can literally be with the finest girl in the world, not a metaphorical Beyonce, the real Beyonce. You know what I mean? Not a metaphorical.
It happened, right? It happened.
Right. So, and I didn't know that until I got into relationship with beautiful women. And when back in my Christian days, I was like, once I meet a beautiful girl who satisfies me on all levels, then I won't have the desire to go outside. But once that lasted for like 3 weeks. And after that 3 weeks was over, it was just like, okay, I like that girl right there. She got a big booty. You know what I mean? That girl right there is different. And that's the reason why dudes, that's what we could be with the finest girl and still watch porn, still cheat, still do all of that stuff, because it's one thing. And maybe I'm messing the scripture up, but it says there's a couple of things that are never satisfied. They said in the Bible, it's Proverbs. It says a river that runs into the ocean is never quenched. The grave is never quenched.
Right.
People gonna always die.
Right.
And a man's eyes, right?
Right.
Never satisfied.
Never satisfied. That's
true,
why
man. That's why porn is the way that it is right now. You know what I mean?
Hey, brother, I cannot disagree with you again. As he was saying, he disagreed with the fact that if a man get that freak, he's satisfied with all 3 of those. Lapo was saying that you're not gonna be quenched. I can't argue with you. I can't say my theory is a theory. It is not a theory, and so I get it, bro. I have a beautiful wife, man, here at the house, man. Yeah. And I've gotten in trouble. I ain't gonna say plenty times. But I've gotten in trouble, man. And so I get it, bro. I cannot disagree with you, Lapo. I cannot. I
Right.
cannot, man. Holla-tics yo say we are redeemed by the blood of the lamb. Don't she say we not 2 or 3 chain over here.
Okay.
Hey, but it's all facts. I had a friend of mine I was talking to earlier today. I say, man, when you know, sometimes you gotta, you know, when you get out of your emotions, you still gotta deal with the issue. And I'm not telling you that, yo, but I'm just saying,
Right.
you know, when you fall as a man, like Lapo was saying, he was in some good relationships and he couldn't understand why he still wanted more people. When you fall as a man, it causes you to search, man. It causes you to say, man, wait a minute. Am I really that weak? You know, am I really this lustful? Am I really this whatever? Or is it
Right.
something that's built in me that just make me want to do this? And you know, you got men that's able to tame it.
Right.
And then you got some who can't. That's just like you know, fruit. You got big ones, small ones, mediums, you know, all kinds of colors. So now, man, I cannot disagree with you on that. I do think the man's eyes never satisfied. I do think you can have the most beautiful woman in the world and you still hit the grocery store and you looking down the you know, the Dorito aisle, the taquito aisle or whatever, man. So,
Right. And I think that like most men don't. I think two things happens, right? I think most men never realize that because I was fortunate enough to marry, to be engaged with absolutely gorgeous women. And I think that a lot of men don't get to experience being with the woman of their dreams and like the what's next. It's almost like
I think yo say they all dogs.
who like dudes or girls.
She talking about men, of course. You know how to
I
tick. Yo,
mean,
she kind of put her business out here. Not put the business out. She,
right.
you know, how to tick. We talk here, Lapo.
Right,
And
right,
I,
right,
you
right.
know, they can't talk physically, but I read their comments and yo, you know, she said she had a man and she gave him all he needed and he just couldn't stay at the house. So she's exactly an example of exactly what you're talking about. So you'll be
Right.
going in on dudes all the time, man. So
And
it's
and
funny to me, man, because she gets to speak how she freely here. I have yours
right,
back here, man.
right. Well, and I is it, her name is Yo. Yo.
Yolanda Mosley, man. She from
Okay.
Atlanta,
Okay.
man. I call her
Yo,
Holla-tics yo. We all get nicknames here, man.
right. Yolanda, I would say this. I think it's very difficult, especially if you have a man who have certain characteristics. Like every man can't go out there and cheat because women, every man can, but it's not as big of a temptation for some men because who they are, right? Some
Yeah.
dudes are scary, some dudes don't have the mouthpiece, some dudes are ugly, and they just don't have opportunities in that way. But if you talk to if you looking at a guy and you like, oh, he can get it, then other girls is probably gonna think that too, right? So he's gonna have more temptation than an average man. I used to shoot videos, music videos, right? And I had to stop doing it because I would be like shooting a music video and it'd be like this big booty girl, like, and I'm like, she like, show me the footage. And she putting her breast on my neck and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, you know. I shot a video. I shot a video one time, and this girl, she was like, I love to give men oral sex, right? And at the time, I was in my car. We was in my car, in her car, and I was literally shaking because I'm like, I gotta run, right? I gotta run, and I didn't have sex with that girl, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm laughing, man, because yo down here growing out. She say she caught him, man, cheat. She got pictures. She say he was getting served up in every way.
I mean,
hey, man, this is hilarious, man. I love you, girl. This girl do not pack punch. She do not hold punches, man. I love her,
think,
man.
and it's I think so. Let's say Drake, right?
Yeah.
I let her use Drake. If you in a relationship with Drake, what are the chances that you think he cheat on you, even if he don't want to cheat on you?
It's in certain professions, man. You know, because I got my youngest daughter, Lapo, is she in Louisiana Tech right now. If y'all just tuning in, this is the Holla-tics Live Interactive Podcast. I'm Rash, your host, chief politician. On the floor tonight, I got Lapo, Issac Lapo, JD. I know he look like a gangster in here, but this is a JD. He just finished law school, going through all the red tape to get barred. And tonight on the floor, we got, man, we're not going political tonight as for a change. I want to take it easy on Friday. On the floor, do women look for relationships to find companionship, security, or social status? And we got Issac weighing in. We coming to the end of the hour, but I'm not gonna stop. We're gonna talk till you till we finish decide to wrap it up. Normally the show is over at 8:30, but hey, we having some great conversation here, so we're gonna keep it rolling, man.
Okay.
But anyway, you was going into your story. I know Holla-tics is going off down here. Holla-tics, if y'all want to leave at 8:30, man, you're not mandated to stay. But me and Lop is gonna keep talking because I think we're gonna do this every Friday night. We're gonna call it date night. We're just gonna get on here and talk about relationships, man.
Right. I think that, like, the girl, she was like, I want to give you oral sex, and she was a video vixen. Beautiful, man. I still be looking back at her like, oh my God, girl. But just diving into some of my personal stuff. But I ended up eventually cheating on my ex, right? When I was married.
Yeah.
And of course that blew up and everything. But I would occasionally talk to my ex. And I was like, listen, I know I cheated on you maybe once, twice, 3 times. I don't know. But the amount of times I didn't cheat, it was that girl, and I was shaking. And it's like, I can't get credit for all the times I ran away. That was hard. So each time.
That sound like some Kanye West logic, man.
Bro, I mean. Sometimes
I get what you say. We don't, but you know what though, Lapo? Honestly, man, society, sometimes our culture, American society or culture can be hypocritical, right?
Right.
We can talk about how it's good for a man to work hard and go home to his wife and raise his kids and play little league ball on Saturday morning. But that same Friday night, the clubs is full and all them people ain't single,
right?
And hotels be booked up, the motels, the raunchy ones, the ones
right.
with the ones they have to clean out every hour. They booked up. Them ain't all single people. And so we like to put a certain image up front. But yet we like something completely different in the background, Absolutely. I had a whole whole floor subject here a couple of weeks ago saying, if America, we're still one country, one nation under God, and if so, how come rock and hip hop, the music that has the most what the Bible label is sin, the most lustrous things in them. Why do the artists that do that make more than a firefighter and all this? I say we project one thing, but we like something, and we not so much that we like it, we support it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's one thing to have a bad habit. You say, man, I like gummy bears, but my teeth is rotten. It's not bad. What makes it bad is when you support the bad habit.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. And I think that there's a social pressure, especially in the area of sex, that we have with tradition. And so a lot of times it's like you have this social pressure and then you have nature, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, for a woman, it's like, I want to be a good girl, but nature is calling, right?
Yeah.
As a dude, you saying, I don't want to cheat, this hurt people. But at the same time, it's like nature is calling. And a lot of times when you have what society wants you to do and what nature is calling you to do, most people can't resist nature's call. Yeah. If that makes sense.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. Sometimes you're strong and sometimes you're not.
Absolutely.
And I would advise couples, if you're listening, uh ladies, you know, if you got a good guy, you need to keep him on empty, because when you don't take care of your business, you'll put a good man in a situation, and he sometimes he may not even want to be strong. You know, sex is a need for a man. It's not just a want; it's a need. So you can take a good guy and push him too far to where he don't want to be strong, bro. He don't want to use his willpower. When he got something nice looking in front of him, why would he use his willpower, man? I can get away with this or whatever. Sometimes we're put in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And they say that good guys finish last, and I think that a lot of times that's absolutely true. That's what I mean. That's what I've been seeing since I've been a teenager. You know what I mean? That's what I've seen since I've went through puberty. It's like the good guys. I've been a good guy and came in last. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. Hey, you talking to you, my spirit animal, bro. I keep telling you that, bro.
So it's like, I think that I think what I've seen now is it's kind of like everyone is self-interested, right? So like even if a woman loves you, she will not stay with you if you have nothing to offer, right? Not necessarily right now, but if she feels like in the future you have nothing to offer, then the relationship is over. Soon as she thinks that she can do better than you, or there's something out there that's better than you, your relationship is terminated. And it's just
I've seen that plenty of times. And then sometimes people, we like to feel like when somebody do something like that, they get it later on down. I've seen people do that and turn out better on the other side, man. We got Hollatics weighing in. Hollatic Ride Woe say, seeing nature and a unsubmitted soul, where do you submit? I think he's talking about, when we wrestling with the flesh right there, man. Hollatic Yo say, what happened to willpower? Willpower. Hollatic Gay Robinson say, if you cheat on your spouse, that's your decision to do so. God will always provide an exit for you to get out for those situations. These are Hollatics weighing in from Ohio, okay. ATL, also TLTX, well, Austin, rather, still Texas, man.
Right.
I think you in Miami, right?
No, I'm in St. Louis right now.
Okay.
With Thizzle.
I was about to say, you finna go hang out with Thizzle, huh? That is an inside joke, y'all. Neither one of us are fans of Thizzle.
Let me say this about Thizzle. That Negro can rap his
I ain't never listened to CD. I haven't. I heard a couple songs and they were cool. Yeah. It wasn't enough to make me want to jam CD. Right. I'm not saying that he don't have an effective ministry. I don't know what he's doing on the streets of St. Louis. I feel like it's a lot. I seen he took a couple. I feel like it's a lot of hell going on there for people to brag about how powerful they are in ministry. I feel like it's a lot of hell going on there. That's just me, though. That's just how I feel. Maybe I'm spoiled because me and New Wine swept the streets, and you got Trey 9 here. Maybe Houston is kind of spoiled to that thing, but I never really been a fan. And then, I had a couple stories from my dude Petty D, man. And I'm like, how can you not like Petty D, bro? That dude is like a huge gummy bear, bro. How can you not like Petty D, bro?
Right. Man, you know how Christian rap was the most competitive, hateful industry I've ever participated in my life.
Yeah. No, I'm laughing at you, lot.
Bar none. You know what I mean?
It was competitive, bro. And then we smile and pray with each other, right?
Right.
I'm like, get out of here, man. But you know what? I came to the conclusion that, man, we all people just doing what we like, man. You know? And church on Sundays or club on Fridays is still filled with people who doing what they like to do, man.
And that's why, going back to what I was saying earlier, that's why good guys lose. Because at the end of the day, people are always doing what they want to do. So it's like you have to, you have to develop as a guy. And I would tell if I had a son, what they say, I'm interested now.
Yo, it's crazy, man. Let me read these out loud.
Okay.
I be hating to interrupt you, man.
No, you got it.
Holla-tics game say it comes down to willpower. If you decide to cheat, it is already your heart. God will always provide a way of exit. I think I read that. When Holla-tics yo say, I'm still a good woman, but if God has shown me I'm first, his laws, I could be a freak for someone else. Not really. I'm still I'm tripping, man, because yo be tripping like that, man. But I love this, man. Go on, though, Lapo. Go ahead.
I would say that I think I forgot what I was talking about.
But let's just take it back to the floor then, man. So
right.
What is the leading one? Again, I think it's a time factor.
I think that, like, when it comes to women, you go, okay. When it comes to women, and this is scientifically proven too, when women are ovulating, when they're at their horniest, or however you want to say it, then they're more likely to have unprotected sex.
Right. They're more riskier than guys.
Right.
During that time. Right. Guys will cheat more often, but when women come in heat, they are more likely to cheat.
Right. They're more likely to cheat, have unprotected sex, one night stands, all that stuff. In fact,
that is true. That is true scientific facts, y'all.
Right. In fact, the girl yesterday was we had a conversation and where she was at. And so, like, I think that for women, there's a desire to be dominated parts of the month, right? Oh, and wow. There's another desire, if y'all know what I mean. There's another desire for companionship, for warmth, for safety. And so, like, a lot of times women have this dual nature, right? To where they want both. But how many men can, like, kill 50 dudes
and then sing you a lullaby? I get it, bro. It take a special guy for that, man.
Right. And almost no guys are able to navigate those two areas. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's kind of difficult to turn off the killer mentality. It's kind of difficult to turn off, like, I'm gonna hit her, and her. Those attributes and those traits are that testosterone driven nature that some men have.
If you unleash it, it's wild. Holla-tics, right. What you yo say what? That's not true. What you talking about, yo? Type in what you're saying is not true. But yeah, now I get it, Lop. It's like letting the lion out the cage. You can't let him out a little bit.
Right.
If you let him out, he gonna go wild. I get it. I agree with that, bro. I think when you turn on certain things, they go wild. I hear about certain couples and who do, certain stuff in sack, and then sometimes it get out of hand, and then some people remain happy. I don't know what happiness is to people. Some people like happiness is going to 10. Some people happiness is cool at 3. I think we make a mistake when we try to create a mold for everybody to fit in,
Right.
We all screwed up, man, especially Black people, bro. We come from abuse in every kind of way, man. So it take if you feel like a person is going to straighten up and be monogamous, it may not ever happen. But if you feel like that, sometimes it's gonna take some time. Most of the time, it's gonna take some time if that's just not how they was raised. I've never interviewed 2 virgins and to see if they have desires outside of themselves, man. I know when I got married, like my first year, I used to hang with Wine and Levi, bro, and we would have these garage meetings, and they would be like, man, bro, I'm struggling in this area, I'm struggling in that. And I didn't know how I felt because I went celibate for like a year, bro. I didn't have no sex for about a year. Right. And then, bro, so when I got married, man, I was like fulfilled, bro. I didn't know how it felt. to desire another woman. So when they was talking, they was having that type of language, bro. I just didn't know how. I didn't even know how I felt, and then it hit me, and it never left. Right? You know, the grocery store thing. You know, me and my wife could have the greatest time, and then go to the grocery store, and before you know it, there it is. You know, the monkey is on your back again, man. So it never left. It left me for like a year or something, bro. Maybe a year, a couple years. I don't know the stretch of time. You know, but I do know how I felt. I do remember how I feel. I do remember I felt that way. I can't say I remember how I feel more so than I remember when I felt the way that I didn't desire another wife, a woman outside of my wife. Man.
Right. I think that's a great feeling. And I think that for you to be able to experience that is like something that most men, I would say, like, and this is just me. I had that. You said you had a year. I went 7 years of abstaining from sex. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't have sex for 7 years, bro. And
say she don't believe in my theory thing. You want a woman to be superwoman, not so necessarily. It's not so much that the book is saying, women, this is what you must be, more so than it is giving you an understanding and maybe giving you something to shoot for. You can watch basketball and never learn to play. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You just know where you are. I know when I sat back and talked about the theory, and she talking about the theory of the book, Lapo.
Right.
She's saying she don't really disagree with theory. I know when I sat back, it helped me see my wife, and not so much what she wasn't, but it helped me understand her attributes, man. My wife was more of she's more of a mother. Kids call her Mommy Angie. And so that helped me to work on the 2 and the 3. Yolanda. So it's not so much that this is what you have to become, more so than take a look at this. This may be something that could help and repair or fix, or maybe even a guideline for you within the relationship. So that was the aspect in what the book was wrote.
And I think, like, just like we talked about the dual nature of women, how there's different sides of women.
Oh, she say no, your theory.
Which one is that?
Which one was that? Yo. Oh, I think she talked about that the animal thing.
Well,
we're gonna let her write. I don't want to go off on another tangent.
Well, like the Coolidge effect is real, as far as men desiring different women. And I would say, like, the testosterone, different men have different levels of testosterone, and women are driven to are turned on by men who produce high levels of testosterone. You know what I mean? So
I think it's chemical. I think
yeah,
you talk about the pheromones and all that. I think a woman can sense, it matter of fact, it's more than just a guess game, Lapo, because I remember the mustiest dudes in school used to have all the women, bro.
Right. Bro,
and it's because they were just like, it was coming through their pores, bro, and we was young, and women, that was like animal like to chicks, man.
Right. But and bro, like I still see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It happens as adults. We just not as hygienically far out there like that. You keep your you keep your sweat, your perspiration areas, undercover, but that's still that pheromone, that that testosterone that's in the air, it still get out of you. I agree. They call it gravitas.
Bro,
or whatever, man. BD ego, all kinds of names.
Yeah, like all of that, bro. And that stuff is absolutely real. And I would say,
is saying the dual nature theory. She's saying that she don't believe that a woman want to be an animal half of the month, and then another month she want to be cradled and cuddled. She says she disagree with that. Is what she's saying.
That's cool. I would say that, like, hey, just if I had the links in the description, I would like post them, but I would just say Google it. You know what I mean? I've had enough one night stands and enough. I had enough D appointments in like some of the lovers that I've taken on, and some of the women that I deal with, you know, since there's no pressure to be in a relationship, they would keep it real with me. You know what I mean? So like we have conversations about their love life, who they date, all that stuff. And now one of the questions that I'm just fascinated about is like,
say that's nasty.
oh, I mean, hey. Hey.
Yo. Oh man, go ahead though, Lop. I love this, man. I love
some
this,
of the
bro.
relationships. It's like I asked them, what made you attracted to me? And a lot of them, it's a lot of different things: physical appearance, the way your body felt. A lot of times it's things that are under the surface, right? Because there's a lot of dudes.
She say, I respect you though. We know it, yo. Hey, when we gonna come to ATL, man. We're gonna have a Holla-tic reunion, man. Hey, cause you know she coming from Atlanta, bro, and you in St. Louis, I'm in Houston, bro. This would not be happening, bro. If it was not for technology.
Absolutely.
But go ahead, man. Go ahead though, bro.
So it's like one of the ways I've been able to rack up a high body count is understanding the primal nature of women, right? So like there's a certain look, there's a certain body language that women ooze out. And if you can tap into that, if you know that, then you can seduce women easier because they give telltale signs. And if you tap into your own nature, you know, then you can appeal to women on a broader scale, because some things are just universal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have like fetishes and stuff like that, but some things are universal. You get a girl with a thin waist and a big butt and perky breast. 99.9% of men is gonna go for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like she's tapping into our primal nature. So as men, we have to learn how to tap into women's primal nature. And I'm gonna say this: I think that going back to the bad boys and the good guys losing, I see a lot of good guys who kill their wives, a lot of good guys who go crazy. They've been a good guy, and they did what the church said. They live the American dream.
You lose it, man. You lose it. I believe that's when you try to do it in your own strength, man. We always try to wrestle people into holiness in the church, man. But the truth is, it's a process, bro. And the truth is, if you know the progress you make and the time it takes you, ain't nobody business but you and God's, man. So you know, I like to look over people's shoulder and say, Lapo, you know, you ain't supposed to be. You could be. Nah, man, it's not my business, bro. I am here as you need me, not to be peeking over your balcony or whatever, man. And that's, you know, that's coming from, you know, the king perspective. Tonight on the floor, we have, do women look for relationships to find companionship, security, and or social status? Lapo say all three, but he says, man, you know, it evolves, you know. It evolves based on the character of who the woman is. And I can agree with that. My comment, my way in earlier was, I think, you know, it's based on desperation. Women may start out with 100 things on the list. And as that father time catch up with it, them things start dropping off the list, you know, and it'll get to the point where, you know, I know he beat me, but long as we look, we can get into the Beyonce and Jay-Z party. It's cool, you know. You know, it happens like that, man.
So Raz, here's my question: why do you think that women why do you think over time, as they get older, their standards lower?
Desperation. And I'll give you a crazy story. My wife was 18 when I married her, right? But she was already she had already gave birth to my oldest son, Razel. And she used to tell me this, you know, and pillow talk, right? Because we've been, you know, 23 years this year. and she said, I just didn't believe that once, when a guy saw me with a kid, nobody would wanted me. And I'm like, are you crazy? You got a perfect 18-year-old body. It don't matter
Right.
that you just dropped the kid. Is you crazy?
Right.
But the mentality though, right?
Right.
And so an older woman could be drop dead gorgeous. She could look like Angela Bassett or Jada Pinkett Mama or some of these other chicks we seen. But if her mind is telling her, oh man, you only got so much time, and then certain guys ain't gonna like you, she starts dropping off stuff. Desperation, it takes over, and then she starts saying, well, listen, I got my own money. I'll just take a guy that's just nice to me.
So essentially you think it's the perspective of the woman that causes the desperation. I would say I think it's the actual reality of the situation too. Right.
You say it ain't just
It's
yeah,
not
you're
just
right. You don't get a Angela Bassett and a Jada. You don't get that often. So most women don't stay physically fit and take care of themselves. So each year is a closer death sentence to them, if that's a good word to say. Not so much for this subject, but yeah, I do believe you saying the desperation is real. I believe that,
because it's like I see
and then they outnumber us. Women outnumber us as men.
Right. I told the women, and this might sound a little bit negative, but I think it's real. I would date a girl who's maybe I meet a girl on Tinder, she's 21, 22, 23, perfect everything. Skin glowing, head full of hair, just gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
And then I match with a girl who's like 33, 32 or whatever. And it's like, I'm naturally going to want to go with the 23-year-old, right? But if in the 23-year-old, a lot of times she's carefree, right? So she's not tripping. We could go get ice cream. She want ice cream. She just wants a good time. We could get a drink. Like,
yeah. It's no hassle. No,
it's no pressure.
It feels less responsible.
Right. So the older woman, a lot of times is like, what are you looking for? What do you want? What is the expectations? What are we going to do? So it's just like this pressure. And so not only do you have a younger female who's more attractive, but she just wants to have fun. And then you have a person with all these expectations of what is this? What are we going to be? It's almost, and if I was to reverse the scenario, I tell women, it's almost like if a dude would say, like, I kick it with you, but are we going to have sex or not? And it's like, well, can we just let it transpire? You know what I mean? Can we let it happen organically? But the younger females, they have all the options in the world, right? Yeah. They don't, like, this relationship don't have to work out because they know tomorrow it'll be another. But like when that clock start ticking and it gets louder and louder and louder and louder as the years goes by, I think that puts a mental pressure on women, but it's also in a way that dudes now respond to them. You know what I mean?
Well, I do believe that your mentality can create the scenario you live in. Right? If you got bit by a dog, now every time you walk through a neighborhood, you're afraid, you jumping. I think that creates opportunity or scenarios for you to, experience what you're looking for. And so, in other words, if women walk around in desperation mode, men sense that, man. It doesn't have to be physically, she could be beautiful. The scenario with my wife, saying at 18, get out of here. I'm still here 23 years later because her body was perfect, man.
But let me ask you this though, right? Like, and I had this conversation with women all the time. They be like, I had low self-esteem and stuff like that. And this is gonna sound cold, bro, but I was talking to one of my exes and I said, hey, I heard some pictures when you were very young. She's older, around 35, 30. She's older now. And I'm like, hers when you was really young, you were gorgeous. She was like, I look finer now. And I was like, you don't, like
How
you
you
don't
get
look.
away with that?
I didn't. She was like, like Isaac. But it was this situation. It was the situation. She like my confidence. I'm more confident now than I was back then. I had low self-esteem back
Brother,
then and
let me
all that
tell
stuff.
you something, man. That's a whole nother conversation, Isaac, because I've seen, women who are, they are right looking, but just walk in the confidence that you be like, man, I got to get with her versus women who look great and have, a less than attractive attitude,
I
about
mean, I think that like women who are confident and able to send choosing signals, like smiling and being flirtatious, that's more inviting to men, right?
yeah.
But given all things the same, like who gonna be like, I was gonna hit Beyonce, but I found out that she had low self-esteem, so I was like, nah.
Nah,
You
you
know
right.
what I
Right.
mean?
Ain't nobody gonna.
Like,
Hey,
nah,
listen, bro. It's 9 o'clock, man. We're gonna let the Holla-tics get out of here, man.
I
Hey, listen, Holla-tics. If you're just tuning in, shame on you, because we're at the end of the show. This is the Holla-tic Live Interactive Podcast. I'm Raz, your host, chief politician, orator. On the floor tonight, it was, do women look for relationships to find companionship, security, or social status? We got Dr. JD Issac Lapo of Lapo Logic Podcast weighing in tonight. Dude dated so many women on while he was in law school. I almost unfollowed him. I'm like, bro, I can't. And then I'll be like, man, let me see what Lapo doing. Listen, Hollatics, man, we're gonna let y'all get out of here, man. Y'all have a great weekend, man. Listen, if you have the opportunity to change somebody's life and you have the power to do so, I believe that is why God put you in that position, man. And just like my man Pickle Juice would say, man, y'all walk with the king and be a blessing in all things. Yo, say good night. And no, we don't. Lapo, we gonna have Lapo back next Friday, man. Holla-tics, y'all continue the conversation, and man, y'all follow each other. I love y'all all.